Imagine an entire colony of people, men, women, and children, vanishing without a trace. No bodies, no struggle, just silence. This is not a movie plot. This is real history. The mystery of the Lost Colony of Roanoke still confuses historians to this day. It all began in the late 1500s when England was eager to expand its empire. Queen Elizabeth I wanted to compete with Spain, which had already claimed much of the Americas. To do this, England needed a successful colony across the Atlantic. In 1584, Sir Walter Raleigh received a charter from the Queen. This charter gave him permission to explore, colonize, and rule new lands in her name. His dream was to establish the very first permanent English settlement in North America. Raleigh's first expedition explored the coast and chose Roanoke Island, off present-day North Carolina, as a suitable site. The island seemed fertile, surrounded by waters filled with fish and protected from large enemy fleets. In 1585, the first English group of settlers landed on Roanoke. But things didn't go as planned. Food shortages, conflicts with local Native American tribes, and poor planning caused many problems. By 1586, many of those settlers gave up and returned to England with Sir Francis Drake, who had stopped by after raiding Spanish ships in the Caribbean. But Raleigh was determined not to fail. So in 1587, a second expedition was launched, this time with families, not just soldiers. About 115 men, women, and children sailed to Roanoke, hoping to build a new life. The leader of this colony was John White, a skilled artist and governor. He was accompanied by his daughter Eleanor and her husband Ananias Dare. In August 1587, Eleanor gave birth to the first English child born in the New World. Her name was Virginia Dare, and she became a symbol of hope for the colony. But almost immediately, the settlers faced hardships. Supplies were low, and they relied heavily on trade with native tribes for food. Some relations were friendly, but others were tense and violent. The colonists begged John White to return to England for supplies. Although reluctant to leave his family behind, he agreed. In late 1587, White sailed back across the Atlantic, promising to return quickly with fresh provisions. But fate intervened. When White reached England, he found the country at war with Spain. The Spanish Armada threatened invasion, and every available ship was needed for defense. White tried for years to get passage back to Roanoke, but it wasn't until 1590, 3 years later, that he finally returned. When he arrived, the colony was empty, completely deserted. There were no signs of battle, no bodies, no graves. The houses had been dismantled, suggesting the colonists had left willingly. The only clue was a single word carved into a post: CROATOAN. Another carving was found on a tree nearby, the letters KRO. This word was the name of a nearby island and also the name of a native tribe friendly to the English. White believed the colonists had moved to CROATOAN Island, but a storm was approaching, and his ship's crew refused to search further. He was forced to return to England, never to see his family again. So, what really happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? Historians have debated this mystery for centuries. Many theories have been suggested, but none proven. One theory is that the colonists integrated with local Native American tribes. Some oral histories and European reports describe tribes with English features, light eyes, or advanced European-style tools. Another possibility is that the colonists tried to sail back to England on their own. But without skilled navigators or strong ships, they could have perished at sea. Some suggest that Spanish forces, who were enemies of England, may have discovered and destroyed the colony in secret. There's also the theory of starvation and disease. Cut off from supplies, the settlers may have slowly died, their remains scattered or buried without record. Archaeologists have uncovered artifacts in the region, such as English pottery, suggesting some survivors lived among local tribes, but the evidence remains incomplete. The mystery deepened in the early 1600s, when Jamestown settlers heard rumors of Europeans living inland with native tribes. yet no concrete proof was ever found. The story of Roanoke captured the imagination of later generations. Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America, became a legendary figure in folklore. Some tales even claim she was transformed into a white deer by magic. For centuries, the word CROATOAN has haunted historians. Was it a message of relocation, a cry for help, or something more mysterious? In modern times, archaeological digs continue at Roanoke and surrounding area. Fragments of tools, weapons, and pottery fuel ongoing debate. Some researchers believe the colonists split into groups, with some heading north toward Chesapeake Bay and others joining tribes inland. In 2012, new evidence emerged from a map drawn by John White himself. Under a patch on the map, researchers found a hidden symbol, possibly marking the colonists' new location. This discovery suggested the colonists may have moved to a different site, but once again, the evidence was inconclusive. The Lost Colony became one of America's first unsolved mysteries, a haunting reminder of how fragile early colonization was. Even today, people travel to Roanoke Island to see the site and wonder what really happened there. Some believe the colonists thrived in secret with native allies. Others think they met a darker fate. But one thing is certain: they vanished from history, leaving only questions behind. The Lost Colony of Roanoke remains one of the greatest historical mysteries in the world. And perhaps, some mysteries are meant to remain unsolved.